He executed his 3 little children and then lined up their at the doorway of his house.
Stand up! Stand up!
EMS is safe and air care is going to go ahead and fly whenever any units can advise.
Get your hands out here.
Police got multiple emergency calls, and they immediately arrived at place and came across a scene that seemed to be out of a horror movie.
There's a girl running down the street, seeing her stepfather and everyone in her.
Chad Dorman was sitting calmly at the doorway of his house, contemplating the lifeless body of his 3, 4, and 7-year-old children when officers arrived to arrest him.
What are you doing, man?
Hey, are you copying all this?
Can I roll over? I ain't gonna hurt you. I ain't gonna hurt nobody.
You got anything on you?
No, I ain't got nothing, man. Phone, that's it. I ain't mad, I ain't nothing.
Surprisingly, Chad remained completely calm and didn't resist the officer's orders. In fact, he respectfully asked them permission before making any move.
What's going on, man?
Nothing. Can I stand up? It's kind of uncomfortable.
I'm gonna get you here in a second.
I ain't running away. You can do whatever you want.
He even warned them about his dog, telling them they shouldn't pet him, as he could get aggressive.
Just make sure that dog don't come out. I don't think he'll bite you. Just don't reach for him and try to grab him and pet him.
All right.
He won't bite you.
While one of the officers escorted him, the corpses of the children remained lying there in broad daylight, in plain sight, and his partner, also in, cried desperately by their side.
Just a little, just a little.
Where else do you leave?
Yeah, the rope remains solid. User.
34%.
Once in prison, the gruesome details of everything that had happened that day came out.
We know that one of the boys was able to flee into a field near the home. And again, we know from his admission, father hunted that boy down, drug him back to the property, and executed him in front of witnesses.
Dorman never denied what he did. He said he was completely sober and didn't use drugs. However, his acquaintances stated that despite being shocked by what happened, they knew that Chad was a violent man.
He was just angry, yelling at her all the time, treating her like.
This young father of 3 children confessed that he had been planning this horrible massacre for months, and went on saying that he couldn't sleep well thinking about it. One day, after coming home early from work, he asked his 3 children and his partner to lie down together in bed, and that's when he took his and began his horrifying plan.
The first one was the 4-year-old in the house 2 times and sustained 2 bullet wounds to the head, causing his. The second child was a 7-year-old who fled the residence, ran some 300 feet from the residence, and was down from behind by the defendant. We then approached this little boy who was incapacitated, alive, shot him in the head twice from close distance.
The mother of the children and her 16-year-old stepsister witnessed everything and desperately tried to stop him. But unfortunately, they couldn't do anything.
It was a struggle with the mother. He ripped the child from the mother's arms, put him in his head. At close range, wounds on the 3-year-old boy's head.
In trial, he was charged with aggravated murder for the death of his 3 children, and although he himself confessed to doing it in front of witnesses, he pleaded not guilty.
Based upon the recitation of the indictment and all the possible charges and possible sentences, what is the plea of your client at this time?
The plea is not guilty, Your Honor.
But the judicial system went after him, seeking to give him the maximum sentence because in their eyes, this man deserved to die.
He's 3 children in the most brutal fashion you can imagine. This is a penalty case, and my goal was to have this man executed for murdering these 3 little boys.
Chad Dorman remains in prison awaiting his sentence, and his bail was set at $20 million. Nonetheless, what nobody knows or understands yet is the motive that drove this man to commit this gruesome crime.
I don't know what went on in his personal life. It's a shocker to us we didn't see it coming. He just snapped. I could tell in his eyes he's hollow inside. That wasn't Chad standing at the arraignment. I mean, that was not him.
But despite his father's words, Chad had already been accused of involving physical assault, and witnesses claimed they saw him snapping violently at his wife and children on several occasions. Meanwhile, the whole community is gathering around to say goodbye and honor the 3 young children who lost their lives at the hands of the man who was supposed to look after them and protect them, but instead made them experience the greatest horror that no child or anyone else should ever live through.